what should that guy do? Would you tell him to eat more vitamins and minerals, perhaps go on a healthy diet, go to the gym, work out, exercise, go to bed on time, perhaps suntan with your balls out to show the sun? What would you do? Because Coach Greg, in today's video, Sean Nalewanyj, he's trolling all of us. Like, he's absolutely lying through his teeth. Now, is he doing it on purpose? I think so. I personally think he's lying on purpose. I don't know if I have proof. I don't know if he chat GPT'd this, but what he said in this video is such horseshit, and I'm going to prove it to you. And so by the end of the video, there's no way you're going to agree with Sean. There's no way. None. I don't believe it to be true. If your IQ is above 60, then there's no way. And so wait till you see what he says. I'm going to prove it. And so let's just have some fun. All right.
How much extra muscle would you gain if you took 3 of the most research-backed natural testosterone boosters for 6 months straight?
And so essentially, you take something like G-Test Platinum or G-Test Max, Test Booster, new ones, the ones that actually work, that are proven that they're going to work, boost your testosterone levels by up to 200 nanograms per deciliter. And he says, how much muscle do you gain in 6 months combined with proper training and diet? In 6 months, how much from taking scientifically backed test boosters? Well, let's see.
Stack all 3 together and combine with proper training and diet, you would gain approximately 0 pounds of extra muscle.
Lies! Why would he lie like this? I have a theory, and my theory is that he likes to be the one that says that you don't need supplements, that you only need his supplements, because he only sells the supplements that work. And so if he's not selling a test booster, he's going to say that test boosters, they don't work. I don't hate him. It's not his fault that he's a moron. You can't change your IQ. 79! Or your genetics. You're born with what you got, and you make the most of it. And so, for example, for myself, I'm a 5'6" manlet. I do the best that I can. Hey, I'm 6'5" when I'm sitting on my wallet. But Sean, he's lacking something. I don't know what it is. Perhaps he's just really bad at math, because wait till you see what he says next.
Yeah, that's right, because even in a best case scenario where your levels increased by 1 to 200 nanograms per deciliter, it still wouldn't be enough to directly drive new muscle growth.
All right, and so what he's saying is, if you boost your testosterone levels by 100 or 200, it's not enough to make any difference in building muscle, not even 0.1 pound after 6 months. All right, and so what he's saying is, if you boost your testosterone levels by 100 or 200, it's not enough to make any... You can have sex with a man, you're gay.
What the fuck?
And so if your testosterone levels were 400 and you took this and now they're at 600, it wouldn't help you build any muscle whatsoever. All right, well, let's analyze that. And so what do we tell people to do aside from taking supplements to boost their testosterone levels? Well, let's think of some. Have a healthy diet, eat the essential fats, vitamins, minerals, consume a little bit of this, a little bit of that, have a balanced diet. And what about decreasing stress, cortisol, or how about getting a good night of sleep, or perhaps going to the gym? Do we not say that all of these things can boost your testosterone levels and that you should perhaps try to do those things first before, for example, going to the doctor and getting HRT? And so if he's saying that boosting your testosterone levels by 200 nanograms per deciliter doesn't do anything, then if you're borderline hypogonadal and you go to the doctor, like Alex Eubanks one did, remember he was dieting and he was at 225 nanograms per deciliter, and you then increased it to 400 plus, you would gain not even 0.1 pounds of muscle in 6 months. And so why bother? Why bother? If a 200 bump in testosterone levels doesn't help you to build muscle, then testosterone doesn't help build muscle. Do you get it? And so if this doesn't work, why would lowering stress work? Why would getting a good night's sleep work? Why would eating a healthy diet work?
Testosterone levels need to go well above the normal range at more like 10 times that amount to see meaningful gains.
Wrong! Lies! Testosterone levels need to go up 10 times as much to see any significant changes. Really? Well, I'm on HRT. You all know I'm not lying. 140 milligrams a week. My testosterone levels were in the 700s. Remember that? That's in the normal range. And before that, well, what if they were in the 500s? And so going on 140 milligrams of test a week, it doesn't help you build any muscle. Remember Alex Eubank when he went on HRT? He was on perhaps 200 milligrams, 250, I forget. And his testosterone levels went up to 1,500. Prior to that, I remember they were at 923, and I do believe he was on enclomiphene. I believe he omitted that point, but let's say he wasn't, or let's say he was. Does it matter? Hey, if testosterone levels are raised to in the 900s and it doesn't help you to build any muscle, then why bother taking it? Did you ever think of that? And so he says you need 10 times that to make a significant difference. 10 times 200 is 2,000. So let's say you went to the doctor and your testosterone levels were 500 and you ended up being at 1,500. That's not a tenfold increase. It's not even close. Does anyone think you wouldn't build muscle at 1,500 nanograms per deciliter, or that you have to be 10 times the top of the reference range to put on any muscle?
Similar to what steroid users injecting actual testosterone experience.
And so he says you need a similar increase to people who are taking testosterone in order to put on that muscle. Why would he say this? And so unless you get your testosterone levels to the same amounts as a guy who's taking steroids, it's not going to work. Well, the average person who takes testosterone is probably taking 500 milligrams of test a week. Average guy using steroids is on a lot. They're not on HRT doses. And so if you could get your testosterone levels up to, say, 2,000, you really think you are going to struggle to put on muscle? And so if you go to the doctor and your test levels are only at 150, that sucks. 150 for a man. And you take this and it goes up by 150. It's now 300. It's doubled. Sean's going to say,
well, it's unfortunate, but all you did is wasted your money. What was the point?
You're not going to benefit because you won't even put on 0.1 pounds of muscle by doubling your testosterone levels. And so don't bother taking it. And so what would you tell that person? See, if this is not going to help you build muscle, let's assume that everything he's saying is true. Then why bother worrying about her testosterone? What should that guy do? Would you tell him to eat more vitamins and minerals, perhaps go on a healthy diet, go to the gym, work out, exercise, go to bed on time, perhaps suntan with your balls out to show the sun? What would you do? Because apparently increasing testosterone is not correlated to building muscle. That's what I heard, unless, of course, with the caveat that it's 10 times as much as that. And so you need a supplement 10 times as good as G-Test Platinum in order to put on muscle. Something equal to using steroids. This is not true. And so this is the problem with science. Perhaps he read this in ChatGPT. Maybe there's a research article that said, hey, we tested these people and they went to the gym and they improved their testosterone levels by 100 or 200 nanograms per deciliter and they didn't put on more muscle than the placebo. Well, how many people were in that study and was the test sensitive enough to see the differences? The problem is, most of you don't know how to design a study. Most of you probably don't have a master's or PhD in university and are not trained to set up studies to be able to analyze for statistical differences and so on. And so it's not your fault. But Sean gets up there and says, boosting your testosterone levels by 100, 200 nanograms per deciliter, useless. Doesn't do anything. But is it really? Is it really useless, Sean? I mean, I don't know if you've analyzed this, but what do you think that this video does? My opinion is what this video would do is have people who are using supplements like this want to stop using them and instead use high levels of testosterone. I mean, because you need 10 times that difference to really put on muscle. That's what I heard. And so why even bother? Unless you're really blasting, then you're probably not going to put on a lot of muscle. In comparison, when I tell you that I know that boosting your testosterone 100 or 200 nanograms per deciliter can make a significant difference, I think that that gives people hope. I think they'll say, you know what? Why don't I use this? Why don't I use Turk Builder Max or Turk Platinum instead of using steroids and see what I can do? Have I chapped out my natural genetic potential yet? Most likely not, and so why not try it natty? But Sean is saying it's useless, it's hopeless. Sean would probably be the same guy that would say, oh, Turk Platinum and Turk Builder Max, there's no way that can work. And at the same time, have never even tried it. Even though there's a money-back guarantee, $20 gift card, he could try it with risk-free, no chance of losing his money. He still wouldn't try it. So imagine you invent a supplement and it boosts your testosterone levels by 500. Sean just said you need to boost it by about 10 times as much as 1 to 200, which is 1 or 2,000 in order to have any appreciable difference. And so imagine I make a supplement. It's twice as good as the supplements right now, 10 years from now. Boost your testosterone levels by 500. Sean would make a video and say, yeah, but that's not gonna make any difference. Then why try? Why bother? Why do anything? And so I asked ChatGPT just to see what it said. It said, if you're trying to build muscle, 5 things you could do: prioritize quality sleep, train smart, dial in your nutrition, manage stress and cortisol, and maintain a healthy body composition. It also says being very lean, like your 8%, supports T. And so y'all think that ChatGPT knows the answer. That is wrong. Being 8% body fat, it supports testosterone. No, it doesn't. It reduces it. Y'all believe me? If you all diet down to 8% body fat right now, do you think your testosterone will go up or do you think it would go down? It's gonna go. And so, bonus tweak, limit alcohol and get sunlight and vitamin D exposure. Also, regular sexy time boosts androceptor sensitivity and testosterone itself. I would then argue back and say, oh yeah, well, Sean Nalewanyj just said that it doesn't matter. That if my testosterone levels go up by 200, I won't put on any more muscle. And so, on ChatGPT, which sometimes is right, sometimes is wrong, let's see what it says. Going from 400 to 600 to 200 improvement. It's meaningful. Meaningful seems like it gives help. It improves mood, recovery, libido, energy, and makes building and keeping muscle easier. You'll notice it in training, consistency, and recovery. I mean, but that goes against what Sean said. So who's right? Is it Sean or is it ChatGPT? Both could be right, both could be wrong. I'm not saying that ChatGPT, every time you ask it something, gets it right. And I certainly know that every time you ask Sean something, it doesn't get it right. A huge jump, 1,000 to 2,000, says that's steroid territory. Yes, chat, Sean said you need about a steroid-like effect in order to make any difference whatsoever. You don't need to be 10 times higher to see results. That level is what pro bodybuilders use to pack on unnatural size. But who do I believe? I mean, Sean seems intelligent and he has very low body fat levels. I mean, he must be 100% natural, and so he must know what he's doing. And so what is Sean's secret? Sean says it's not increasing your testosterone from natural methods, for example, using test boosters. He says those don't make any difference, and so what does? Is it increasing your tests through sleep? Is it different that way? Is it increasing your tests through consuming supplements, for example, minerals and vitamins? Those make changes. So if your testosterone levels go up from using a supplement, it's different than if your testosterone levels go up by, for example, reducing stress. Is that what he's saying? The body knows the difference. Hey, you got higher test levels from doing this, and so that's going to help me to build muscle. You got it from not drinking that, and so that doesn't count. And so if you're drinking alcohol right now and you stop drinking alcohol and your testosterone levels go up, does your body know it's from alcohol and so it builds more muscle?
We're always doing too much. Boy, is this alcohol?
But if you're drinking alcohol and you take this and it boosts your testosterone levels, then that doesn't work. It doesn't count. The body says, no, you cheated. We know. We're not going to help you to build any pound of muscle. Not even 0.1 gram. And so, Sean, chat says saying a 200-point increase does nothing is flat wrong. It's the difference between dragging through workouts versus actually recovering and being able to push harder. And so, Sean, what I'm being told and what my research says is that the 200-pound difference could be the difference between barely getting through a workout and making gains. It is huge.
That's what she said.
If Sean had replaced his video and saying a 10 or 20 point difference is not really enough and you're not going to notice any difference in muscle, I would have said, you know what? He has a point. Perhaps it's so low that it's not even measurable. You might gain 0.1 pound of muscle and who's going to even notice that? But he said specifically, I'm not lying, I'm not cherry picking. He said 100 to 200 boost nanograms per deciliter. He said it won't help you to build any muscle whatsoever. Now, do I know exactly how it helps to build muscle? No. I don't know exactly why. But let's listen to this. Like, think of this. If you take G-Test Platinum, or let's break it to anything. If you take Turk Builder, or if you take GO2 Max, and that allows you to go to the gym and train harder, to recover faster, to have more energy, how would that not translate into you building more muscle? How would it not? You're able to push heavier weights for more reps, for more sets. You can recover faster from those workouts, and you enjoy lifting more. How would that not help you to build muscle? How would it translate into 0.0 pounds of muscle built in 6 months? I mean, that is ridiculous. Even a placebo can improve your performance. We've all heard of placebo. So many people think that this and or other supplements are placebo, even though it's not. Of course, a placebo can work, but it helps more than a placebo. That's why, for example, I can't wait till we compare this to creatine to show you that this works better than creatine, that it allows you to train harder, recover faster, build more muscle, all the things that you want, give you more energy than creatine. And so if these supplements allow you to feel better, to have more energy, and want to go harder in the gym, of course it's going to help you. I mean, let's argue that Sean is wrong and that testosterone isn't related to muscle growth. You take G-Test Platinum and your testosterone levels go from 400 to 600. And trust me, that has happened to several individuals. They see their blood work and they see, wow, it's now 600. It used to be 400. I feel amazing. I feel good. I have more sex drive, more energy. I'm going to the gym. I can push harder. I'm going to train harder. And what do you think the results are? They build more muscle. Is that hard to understand? And so I think if Sean were to actually watch this video and sit through it, I think he would come to the agreement that, you know what? Greg made some valid points, some valid arguments, and I do believe that he's actually right. Now, why Sean said this, perhaps he read in a study somewhere where they boosted testosterone levels by 1 to 200 nanograms per deciliter, and they compared it to a placebo who didn't boost it by 100 to 200, and maybe there was no statistical significance between both of those groups. That does not mean that one didn't work better than the other. It means there's not a statistical significant difference to prove it. So, for example, if I have a coin right here and I flip it twice and it's heads twice, okay? You with me? 2 heads in a row. This one, I flip it and it's tails 2 times in a row. Do you think that I can prove that this will only land on heads and that will only land on tails from flipping it twice? There's no statistical difference. I'm sure most of you think, no, it's probably just a fluke. Like if you keep flipping the coin, maybe it would switch over. But if I flipped this one 1,000 times and it was heads and this one 1,000 times and it was tails, I'd be willing to bet a lot of money that this one only has heads and this one only has tails, or it's been altered in a way so that it always lands on the same side. Would you believe that? Do you understand that? That is why studies are oftentimes bullshit. They don't have enough people in the study to see a statistically significant difference. Not seeing that statistically significant difference does not mean there's no difference. And that's a problem. And yeah, it pisses me off, but I then tell myself, Greg, it's not your fault that you're significantly smarter than most people and that you understand how to design studies, you understand statistics. Most people are not like Rain Man. They don't understand math that well. And so just because you understand it and they don't, doesn't mean they're bad people, doesn't mean you should get mad at them. And so I just sit back and understand it's not their faults. And so when people say, I don't think that Turk Builder Max or Turk Platinum works, I don't say, well, I'm mad at them for saying that. Oh, it's snake oil. I'm not mad at them. They're just saying what they were taught or what they believe. It isn't their fault. It's not as if they tried it. I mean, if they tried it and they said, you know what, I tried it and it didn't work, I would believe them. That is what I do. Now, if you haven't tried it, what are you waiting for? Code Greg, 15% off. You can try G-Test Platinum. We've got Turk Builder, Turk Platinum, GO2 Max for improved cardio, and GLP Max. Reduce your appetite by approximately 28%. It's a huge difference. Get my cookbooks, the Circle Diet books. You know what I do. I have all these different books. Coaching, you can get that from myself and my team. If you want stronger medications like tirzepatide or, for example, Ozempic or perhaps enclomiphene, Cialis, and so on, you can get doctor-prescribed medications at AlgoRx. Click the link in the description and use code Greg to save yourself 10% off. The next time you see a study or you see somebody saying something or you just chat GPT something and assume that it's correct, please be careful. People don't know what they're saying. They quickly read something and they see the results and they spew it out to the world without really truly understanding it. And if you don't understand these things, you can make huge errors. And people who have very large platforms, for example, millions of followers, and when they say something wrong, it can confuse millions of other people. And so I don't know what to say other than try to follow somebody that you really do trust. Even if the people that you do trust, sometimes they even can be wrong. And so please be careful. Do your best. Try and learn from more than one person. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm. Please like the video if you liked it. Don't forget to watch one of those 2 bloops. All the supplements, the coaching plans for me and my team, momentous clothing, everything. Get to the websites, click the link, and until next time, I am out.